Hey guys, it's Mark from Erickson Machine and Performance. Have you guys ever wondered what fan is best for your 3D printer? What size fan, whether you should do a 40-20, a 50-15, or a 50-20? What the differences on the fans are? Is there a gain? Are there consequences to a better fan? Well, these are all questions I wanted to answer. So I bought a flow meter, I weighed them all, and I printed. And when I say I printed, I mean I printed a lot of different tests. And I think I came up with some cool results. So let's check it out. Alright guys, before we get started, if you guys like the channel, you like the content, basically here we build stuff, engines, CNC machine work, or 3D printing. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video. If you want to help support the channel, you guys can buy sticker packs from us. We have t-shirts. Any stuff like that's greatly appreciated. But main thing, please smash the subscribe button, hit the like, so we can keep making content like this. Now, as you can see in this video, I've printed a lot, and I mean a lot, a real lot, trying to figure out which fan is best for the Sidewinder X1. So here we go. Alright, so let's go through the fans tested. These are the order that I tested them in, not the order that they placed. So the first is this fan shroud. So this uses a 50-15 fan. They also offer this one with a support across the edge, which makes it a little stronger. This is the one I ended up printing to test. Second shroud that I printed to test is another 50-15, significantly bigger housing. Really nice shroud. Third one is one of the halo design with the holes all the way around. Fourth one is just the stock fan shroud. This is the fifth. So one opening that comes in and blows on the part. Sixth, this uses a 40-20, as does this one. Another halo design. This is much bigger, so there's more room for the air to flow, in my opinion. Eighth, this is similar to the stock, but more radiused. 9 is a version of number 2, but we set it up for the 50-20 fan. 10 I tested without a fan at all, and the 11th in the test was this one. This one is a no test because it doesn't line up. The heater block ends up being over here. Alright, so now we're going to check weight. So we're going to check the weight of the actual fan shroud with the fan. The more weight you have moving, the more chance you're going to get ringing. So not only do we need a fan that blows good air, but we need it where it's not super heavy as well. So let's go with fan number 1. So this uses a 50-15. So that's 43.1. Let's try fan number 2 shroud, which is also a 50-15. So this is 61.6. Fan number 3, which uses a 40-20. This is 34. Next is the stock setup, 25.2. Number 5 uses the 40-20 as well, 31.3. Number 6 uses the 40-20, 29.9. Number 7 35.7. Number 8 26.8. Number 9, which uses the 50-20, the largest. .5, but because we had to design this shroud, when I took it apart, I broke the top half off. So my guess is this is actually the heaviest one, but I don't have it anymore. And then number 10 was 0 weight because I tested without a fan. So this shows us that basically the stock fan, which is obviously the smallest, is by far the lightest. And then we'll compile this and we'll see how the other ones go, and then you guys can decide what you guys think. Alright guys, so let's show you this super duper scientific test rig for testing these fans. Hopefully you understand I'm joking. So, digital flow meter. So I have this set up. I 3D printed a cone which goes into the fan, which is what reads it. These numbers are only for comparison. So, you know, if it's 70 CFM, we're just comparing the 3 different fans. The numbers, I don't really know if are accurate. You know, this is a $50 gauge, but the comparison should be accurate. So the best one would be the best in theory, the worst one would be the worst in theory. So I could have done this with a 24-volt power supply, but I wanted to do it connected to the actual Sidewinder, so you know it's exactly what you'd get on the machine. So let's fire the first fan up. The first one we're going to check out is the 50-20. Alright, so now to stay with a super high-tech, we're using my son's Play-Doh to seal all around the fan so there's no air leaks, or minimal air leaks, let's say. And let's fire this one up. So this is the 50-20. This fan is 81 CFM. Let's check out the 50-15. Alrighty, so now we have the 50-15 set up. Let's see how she does. called a 102. It's surprising. This fan's actually smaller, but it's producing a good amount more air. Alright, let's try the stock 4020 and see how that does. And here we go, the last of the three that we're testing. This is the 4020, which is the same size as the stock fan. So 80, 81. Okay, so basically the same as the larger fan. 82. And we'll cheat and we'll call it 83. So it's a surprisingly good fan. Alrighty. Now we're going to actually check the weights on all of these. Alright, so now we're going to check weight. So we're going to check the weight of the actual fan shroud with the fan. You know, the more weight you have moving, the more chance you're going to get ringing. So not only do we need a fan that blows good air, but we need it where it's not super heavy as well. So let's go with fan number 1. So this uses a 5015. So that's 43.1. Let's try fan number 2 shroud, which is also a 5015. So this is 61.6. Fan number 3, which uses a 4020. This is 34. Next is the stock setup, 25.2. Number 5 uses the 4020 as well, 31.3. Number 6 uses the 4020, 29.9. Number 7 35.7. Number 8 26.8. Number 9, which uses the 5020, the largest. .5, but because we had to design this shroud, when I took it apart, I broke the top half off. So my guess is this is actually the heaviest one, but I don't have it anymore. And then number 10 was 0 weight because I tested without a fan. So this shows us that basically the stock fan, which is obviously the smallest, is by far the lightest. And then we'll compile this and we'll see how the other ones go, and then you guys can decide what you guys think. Alright guys, so let's show you the results and show you the winners, what I found. Let me start off by saying, you know, what you're doing with your printer, what you're printing, depends on what fan you need. You know, if you're not printing anything complex and it's just straight lines with no overhangs, stuff like that, fans aren't really all that important. If you're doing intricate detail work with overhangs, stuff like that, then it becomes more important. And depending on the way you're printing, depends on the fan you need. Let me start off by saying this. I did a whole bunch of prints. These are the results. I found, in all honesty, surprisingly, the top 6 or 7 of these fans, all of them work phenomenally. So these are the results I got. And I'm going to show you the prints after I show you the order. So in first place was the 5015 fan, which was this shroud. In second place, surprisingly, the stock fan. Really performed well. I was extremely surprised about this. In third place is basically a copy of the stock fan shroud that is just more radius. So if you look at the stock fan, there's some tight bends on it. You know, this is all radius. In fourth place, the 5015. In fifth place, the 5020. In sixth place, this shroud. Seventh place, we had the halo. Eighth place, ninth place. So a couple quick things before I show you everything. You know, the top 6 or 7 of these are awesome fans. My guess is all these fans will work for somebody for one or another reason, and your best thing is to try them out yourself. You know, printing some fans isn't an expensive thing to do. You know, this was a fairly time-consuming test for the amount that I printed, but I wanted to have a fairly accurate thing to give you guys. The surprising thing is, you know, the 5020, which is the extra large fan, is basically the same as the 4020. They blow the same. I was extremely surprised about that. The 5015, you know, blew significantly more air, but only one of the fans really produced better results. And if I'm going to be totally honest with you, the top 3 of these, you know, all of them are phenomenal, and it's a coin flip between the top 3. So I want to start off by saying that. So here's what I believe came in first place. So when you look at it, you know, up to 60 degrees, it was basically flawless everywhere. After 60 degrees, it started to get a little funny. You know, nothing all that bad though. The top of the spire is really good. The bridging is very good. The long bridge is almost perfect, which is why I feel this one came in first place, which is this fan shroud. Second place, ironically enough, the stock fan. So if you look, same, you know, around 60 degrees, everything is close to flawless. After that, it starts to get a little funny. You know, a little bit on the spire, but nothing crazy. The bridging's okay, not quite as good as the first place, but quite comparable. And that was with a stock fan. Third place, this is with the fan that looks like the stock fan, which is this one. Same thing, up to 60 degrees, pretty much flawless. After that, you start to get a little funny, but nothing crazy. The spire's in very good shape. and the bridging is a little bit less than the stock on the extremely long one. Other than that, close to identical. As I said, the first three are really like a coin toss. 4. So this is a 50-15. So you can start to see, you know, this is going down to right at the edge of 50 degrees, which is still phenomenal, by the way. You can see it a little bit more, but still very, very good. The spire's good. The bridging is very good. The extended bridge, you know, very similar to the last. So, and that would be with this shroud. Number 5, which is number 9, which is the 50-20. As you can see, you know, 50 degrees is where it's funky on here, which is still very good. You can see the long bridge, very similar to the last few. Now the 6th, you can see very similar to the last one, although in the one direction, this one's actually pretty good. The spire's in good shape. So, and the bridge is a little more swollen than the last two. Number 7, which came in 7th place. This is when, in my opinion, they're starting to look crappy. So this is right around 40 degrees. You start to see it getting funky on the underside. The top, you know, is very melted. Not much detail on the top, but the bridge is still fairly decent. Eighth place. So this one, the underside's in rough shape when you're starting to have, you know, dimples coming out the side. You know, this is all the way almost to 30 degrees. It's starting to look funky on the underside. The top of the spire isn't there. It's just extruded plastic. You can tell it broke off. The bridge was still semi-okay. So here we go. This is no fan. So you can see the underside is in very, very rough shape, starting at, I don't know, around 20 degrees, which shows you if you don't have anything in the wall and you're just building straight lines, honestly, the fan doesn't help you until you're starting to do overhangs or very thin detail. But you can see just plastic that's melted, and it just looks like a mess. The bridging is terrible, as you can see. Same with this one. So this is with no fan. And then ironically, the worst place one was this one, which I just believe that there's just not enough airflow, that this is basically stopping the airflow, which is why it looks so bad. See how bad the bridging is on the bottom. The underside, all of this is melted and deformed, just from lack of cooling. The top spire is just, you know, extruded plastic. And the same thing with the bridge. You can see it's just a mess. So when you look at everything, here's the list. So first place, in my opinion, was this shroud. When you take into the weight, though, you know, in all honesty, the top 3 are a coin flip, and number 2 and number 3 actually weigh less. So it really depends on your work, but the stock fan or this might be your best bet. I'll be running this on all my machines from now on. I really like this fan. I think the reason it works well is because, you know, if you have too big, you don't end up with any velocity. If you just have wind going, but it's not moving quickly. If you have it too small, you choke it down. So finding the exact right size is really tricky. As I said before, you know, the top 6 or 7 of these, phenomenal. So I hope you guys liked the video. If you like it, please subscribe to the channel. And guys, have a good night. Thanks for watching.